Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until psychic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Para Gate Para Samgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Para Gate Para Samgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Para Gate Para Samgate Bodhi Soha. Just thought I'd do those mudras now. I didn't do them during the prayers. I don't know why I forgot. Done them thousands of times before. And here's a couple of other ones. Om Ram Om Shiram Om Mane Padme Hum. Om Sale Sule Sande Swaha Brum. Om Para Para Sampara Sampara Indire Wistami Ha Ha Lulu Jere Jole Jere Soha. Everything is like a flicker of a lamp, the life of a flower, a star at dawn, a dewdrop in the sun. Everything comes and goes, no space, no time, no thing knows. Everything, everything, let it go. Don't hang on to the past. No one owns anything. Everything is like the changing of the tides, lightning in a summer cloud. a bubble in a stream, a phantom and a dream. Everything, everything comes and goes. No space, no time, no thing knows. Everything, everything, let it go. Don't hang on to the past. No one owns anything. Everything is like a flicker of a lamp, the life of a flower, a star at dawn, a dewdrop in the sun. Everything is like the changing of the tides, lightning in a summer cloud, a bubble in a stream, a phantom and a dream. And thus shall we think of all this fleeting world. So I thought I'd do that for you this week. I was going to finish the class off last week by doing that. So doing the first verse, then the chorus, which I actually was going to shorten, decided not to in the end. And then the second verse, another chorus, and then the first and second verses together with the instruction that the Buddha said that this is how we should think of all, or view all of this fleeting world. Think of everything as impermanent, unsatisfactory, has no self, it's emptiness, and so on. But beyond that is what we call nirvana, or enlightenment. Anuttara samyak sambodhi, unsurpassed supreme enlightenment in Sanskrit. Samma Sambuddha in Pali, supreme enlightenment. It's supremely enlightened one, I should say. Okay, so we can do some meditation now. I thought today also I've got the Diamond Sutra here. I don't know if anybody's seen that book, I can't remember whether I showed it to you or not. I've got a few versions of the Diamond Sutra. This is the one that I initially studied, as you can probably tell by how old the book is. But this is just Diamond Sutra without commentary. It's got some few notes here and there, but it's without commentary. And also the Sutra of Huineng. Master Huineng was the sixth patriarch of Chinese Buddhism, or Zen, sixth patriarch of Zen. Of course, the first one was Bodhidharma, came from India. And so basically, it's called the Sutra of Huineng. I guess sutra being used literally there as scripture, the teachings of Huineng. But of course, from a real point of view of Buddhism, with the sutras to be written or recorded versions of the words spoken by the Buddha or his chief disciples at that time, I guess you would call this more the teachings of Master Huineng. Okay. But anyway, so it's very much the same subject. So, emptiness and emptiness of self, shunyata. And so the Diamond Sutra and the Sutra of Huineng, that's why they're put together. So this one is by Shambhala Dragon Editions, translated by A.F. Price and Wong Mao Lam, forward by W.I. Evans Wentz. Is that correct? Yeah. And Christmas Humphreys. Okay, so if anybody, this is a good version. There is one part of the translation that I believe to be slightly incorrect. Same meaning in there, though, the same spirit in there. But I got told that by a Chinese nun that actually bought me this book initially, many years ago. And so we went to a bookstore together, secondhand spiritual bookstore, had new books too. And this one was pretty much brand new looking, but it was a secondhand, off the secondhand shelf. And she got me this and she said, "But this verse number 17, I think she said, is there's something wrong in there, but same meaning." Okay, so I just thought I'd share that. So if you ever do read these types of teachings and cross-reference with other translations or other commentaries on them, don't get confused by some of the translations, because occasionally there may be some mistakes, hopefully not big mistakes. But also, people will use different language, remembering English is what is so-called intellectual language. So there's many different words and phrases that you can use has a similar or even same meanings. And so that's why it's so difficult in sometimes to translate things into English and keep it consistent, especially between the two different traditions, different languages, or the sutras or teachings being translated from different languages into English. There may be some different rules here and there, you know. So anyway, so that's that. I thought I'd read you paragraph 32 from that today. Okay. It relates to the song. So let's forget everything I just said and do some brief meditations, and then we can get into the Dharma talk again. Okie doke. I started the class straight up with the chanting, so I didn't say I hope you're all well, but I do. I do wish you all the best for the past, present, and future. Of course, it makes more sense to say here and now in the present and into the future. Get yourself comfortable. Clear your mind of everything that I just said and other things that you may be thinking about from the past that you brought into the present, and any planning for the future that you brought into the present. Let it all go now. Bring your mind to your body. And very briefly, we will go through the different parts of the body from the bottom to the top. And you can release the tension as you focus on these areas. I won't give instruction today. As I mentioned last week, sometimes I will give detailed instruction on this. Today you can do it by yourself. And like I said, do it very quickly, very briefly today. So do so now, releasing the tension from the body. Now scan your body once more, just to see if there's any leftover tension you can release. Which, if we do this, and if you do this at different times, really briefly, really quickly, sometimes you do miss little spots. So that's another reason why we will go back to scan the body once again. If you're thorough about it the first time, then maybe you can not worry about scanning the body again. Now bring your mind to the tip of your nose and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out, in all the way into your lungs, and then back out your nose again, breathing in and breathing out. That's all you have to do physically, apart from sitting here or being here. And mentally, all you have to do is focus on the breath. And when the mind wanders, replace your mind back on your breath. So any thoughts arise or any mental activities, feelings and the like arise, don't cling to them or grasp at them. Also, don't try to force them away or deny them. But simply let them go by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or sleepy, then replace your mind onto your breath more brightly. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths, 1 to 10. Don't go past 10. And also, if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness, utilizing the visualization technique, filling our whole being with the white light. And of course, of utmost importance, is filling our whole being with the feeling of universal loving kindness. Really feel it. And we are loving and kind, whether it's towards ourselves or to others. It makes our mind, heart gentle, friendly, appreciative, respectful, and so on. Frees the mind from anything like anger and hatred, any type of ill will, and so on. Fill yourself with so much universal love and kindness, utilizing, like I said, the visualization technique of the white light, that now the white light, you filled yourself so much with it that it now overflows and radiates outwards from your heart center and enters the heart centers of your loved ones initially in front of you and fills their whole being with the universal loving kindness too. Really see that they are happy and free from any suffering, that they are peaceful. Now also include strangers, those people that you're indifferent toward, and do likewise. And even to those you may regard as enemies, and do likewise. Remembering that true loving kindness is based on equanimity, a non-biased mind. So you can radiate this universal loving kindness out equally to all different types of beings. So let's now radiate it out distance-wise, further and further, initially around your immediate area, to all living beings now, not just human beings, all the beings that live on the land and fly through the air, live in the waters, whether they're born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation, whether you know about them or not, whether they live in this realm or other realms. And now visualize that your loving kindness is radiating out further and further, gathering so much momentum, radiating quickly out distance-wise throughout your whole state or county, and to all the beings. Other states and counties throughout your country, and other countries throughout the world. Initially, those you have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, as well as those you have some negative feelings about. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet too, throughout the whole solar system. And all of the solar systems throughout the galaxy. And all of the galaxies throughout the universe and beyond. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout infinite space with no limit. This immeasurable loving kindness that is initially generated in your own heart. So also be present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So, like I said, I'll read to you in a moment from the actual book, the sutra. And as you know, we're working off the commentary really on the May Everything song predominantly about Shunyata. emptiness of self. You can also include within that, as you can with all of the teachings on Shunyata, anicca, or impermanence. I didn't do a very good job of cleaning my glasses today. It's still a little bit humid, it's actually cooled off quite a bit here after the really hot weather, but it's still quite moist in the air. So what I find is my glasses up the top there get kind of misty. So to do with this teaching, by the way, this Diamond Sutra teaching, I think it was something like maybe 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, that I gave commentary on it. We started, I think, at Yunyang Temple, and then when we moved the class to Kim Kang Temple, just up the road from there, to help them out, to become more known in the community, actually, and etc. And so I think we finished it off at the Kim Kang Temple. I know that I'm pretty sure that's around about the time that I met Mahendra and Ellen. I know that your brother started coming to the class, and some other of the Sri Lankan friends you had. I know that was initially requested by Rajan, I think. So anyway, but also Dave Moreno, of course, you would have been there. And maybe a few of your other ones. I'm not sure about live today, but other people that look at the video, you would have been at these teachings, these commentaries. And so then when we had the COVID come about, this is actually the subject for the advanced class, was the Diamond Sutra. It's just starting. So we only had, I think, about 3 classes on it. And so that's a pity. But that's life. And in time, like I've said to you in the past, during these Zoom classes, I will give commentary on this sutra particularly, and detailed ones, as well as some quick ones, some overviews, and also different parts of the sutra as well. This sutra is 32 stanzas long. Some stanzas, I just give you an example. Not too sure whether you can actually see the page or not. But the Diamond Sutra, so that's the first stanza. I think you can see it. One paragraph. And then, of course, you have some other stanzas, which are varying lengths. Like this one here is a little over 2 pages. So there's that one and maybe another paragraph at the end of it. So you can see they're all different lengths depending on the subject matter and how much the Buddha spoke about it, of course. So 32 stanzas, one of the shortest of the Mahaprajnaparamita, or Perfection of Wisdom scriptures within the Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra collection. The longest one, I believe, that is existent in the world today is 100,000 stanzas. It's called the 100,000 stanzas, Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra. I think it's not exactly that, but it's around about that. So there's that one. I think 25,000 and 12,000 and 8,000. And then you have shorter ones. The shortest is the Heart Sutra. But I believe that the Heart Sutra is actually like a summary of some longer ones as well. It's found through, I think, twice throughout one of the longer ones. Okay, so as like a summary for a section. And so I'm not too sure whether it was actually spoken as that, as the sutra, just by itself at one time or more times by the Buddha, but it could have been taken from the longer versions. Okay, and of course you can even compress it even further to the mantra, gate gate para samgate bodhisoha, and even further to ha, the last syllable. Okay, so but we won't need to go there today. And so, the Diamond Sutra, it was introduced to me by my master and taught to me for actually probably about a couple of years, really, and later as well, different times, different parts. So it is quite in depth, but also being shorter, it's you can study it, okay? And it's a teaching, like I said, on emptiness, shunyata. So I'll start. I've kind of gone through the last bit of the article. I'm back to the article. And so I won't repeat that again. And the part of the beginning of the article is really just explaining the song. And I've kind of spoken a little bit about the sutras and, the Prajnaparamita collection and so on already just now. But everything is a Dharma song I wrote in 2002. Initially, I watered down sort of like diluted down the deepness of the teaching in the song and called the song Go with the Flow, utilizing sort of like popular language and whatever. And in the end, I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be the teaching, so I changed it. Um, anyway, so about impermanence and emptiness, it was inspired by a verse spoken by the Buddha in the Mahayana Prajnaparamita Vajracharika Sutra, Diamond Cutter, Perfection of Wisdom Scripture, which is part of the Prajnaparamita Sutra collection. It is popularly known as the Diamond Sutra. And the song appears on the Birth of the Buddha CD that I recorded with my brother Roger McLaughlin in 2010. Okay, so you can access this song and other songs as well on the Dharma Talks, DhammaTalks.wordpress.com. It's still alive. Michael Henderson still has a look at it, still sort of manages it, but I haven't added anything in recent times. So it's there and it's nice storage for the songs, actually. Okay, so you can access the songs and I think some of the lyrics there as well. I won't go any more into that. I'll just, for now, get to stanza 32 in the Diamond Sutra. Excuse me. I'm going to read stanza 31 to you, prior coming up now then to 32, okay, which is the main one that I was inspired by. Inspired by the whole sutra, really, but just the verse within the 32, stanza number 32. So conventional truth should be cut off is the name of number 31. Just to let you know that for those of you who don't know, Subhuti is a Mahayana disciple of the Buddha. When I say Mahayana, I'm not sure whether he is like a hearer, like from practicing Theravada or going to practice Bodhisattva path, but obviously he's asking the questions here. Some would say he's asking the questions because he wants to follow the Bodhisattva path. Others may say he's actually empowered by the Buddha to ask the questions. It could be anybody empowered by the Buddha to ask the questions for the benefit of everybody there. Okay. I've decided to change that a little bit. I'm going to read the first stanza and then 31 and 32. Okay. See how simple this is. It's about living in the moment with pure awareness. Okay. And not being egotistical, not having this idea of the self, beyond all of that, understanding shunyata, but also understanding Buddha nature is no different and is our true nature. So this is the convocation of the assembly. Thus have I heard. Upon a time, Buddha sojourned in Anathapindika's park by Shravasti with a great company of bhikshus, even 1,250. Just to let you know, most sutras are started by like this, thus have I heard, recollected by his disciple Ananda and agreed upon, of course, by all of the arahants and so on, all the other students, high level. And Anathapindika's park, we spoke about this. This is actually where the Metta Sutra was taught, so you should understand. You can go back to have a look at videos if you like. I gave some commentary on Anathapindika's park at Prince Jeta's Grove in Shravasti, or near Shravasti, town of. You can check that out if you like. Bhikshu is a monk. Bhikshuni is a nun, just to let you know, remind you. Upasaka is the male layperson. Upasika, female layperson. And these four make up the fourfold Sangha. Okay. So he was there with a great company of bhikshus. One day, at the time for breaking fast, the world-honored one enrobed and carrying his bowl made his way into the great city of Shravasti to beg for his food. In the midst of the city, he begged from door to door, according to rule. This done, he returned to his retreat and took his meal. When he had finished, he put away his robe and begging bowl, washed his feet, arranged his seat, and sat down. Now it's just about time for a teaching, you see. You see how simple that is? The Dharma teachings are so profound. There's wisdom teachings so profound, but so simple, here and now, in the moment. Where is enlightenment? It's here, now, not somewhere else. It's not in the future. There's no such thing as future. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you, the simpleness, and to encourage you to practice here and now. Doesn't matter if you don't get these teachings yet. Here and now. Maybe the fact that you're thinking, I want to get these teachings, is stopping you from getting the teachings. Okay? It's a paradox, really. This one, number 31, I won't give commentary on it, okay? Conventional truth should be cut off. Subhuti. If anyone should say that Buddha declares any conception of egoity, do you consider he would understand my teaching aright? No, well-honored one, such a man would not have any sound understanding of the Tathagata's teaching, because the world-honored one declares that notions of selfhood, personality, entity, and separate individuality as really existing are erroneous. These terms are merely figures of speech. Thereupon the Buddha said, Subhuti, those who aspire to the consummation of incomparable enlightenment should recognize and understand all varieties of things in the same way and cut off the arising of views that are mere aspects. Subhuti, as regards aspects, the Tathagata declares that in reality they are not such. They are merely called aspects. So stanza number 32, which is the one that I mentioned to you, the delusion of appearances. Subhuti, someone might fill innumerable worlds with the 7 treasures and give all away in gifts of alms. But if any good man or any good woman awakens the thought of enlightenment and takes even only 4 lines from this discourse, reciting, using, receiving, retaining, and spreading them abroad, and explaining them for the benefit of others, it will be far more meritorious. Now, in what manner may he explain them to others? By detachment from appearances, abiding in real truth. So I tell you, thus shall ye think of this fleeting world, a star at dawn, a bubble in a stream, a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, a phantom, and a dream. When the Buddha finished this discourse, the Venerable Subhuti, together with the bhikshus and bhikshunis, lay brothers and sisters, and the whole realms of gods, men, and titans, were filled with joy by his teaching, and taking it sincerely to heart, they went their ways. So there's only a few more minutes to go, but hopefully you're enjoying doing this. I had this thought of this the other night, and I went and found the book. Okay, I kind of knew where it was anyway. It's in the wisdom part of my library. Anyway, so do I have time to even think about looking at notes? The notes are at the back of the book. Let's see how quickly they are. Should find so number 78. So where it says 78 here, abiding in real truth, the note is ultimate truth is absolute reality. In this principle, all things are one, and their individuality and diversity depend upon mutual reference. Looking at this statement from our habitual point of view, we see that it implies the idea. Within every man and woman is the Buddha seed. To awaken the thought of enlightenment is to begin to penetrate the mists and veils of mutually interdependent created things in our search for union with that which is beyond all names, commotions, characteristics, qualities, appearances, and concepts. And then note number 79, which is related to that verse spoken, comes after the word dream. So this charming verse is actually a translation of the Gatta in the that's enough actually. It doesn't really say anything. That's fine. We don't need to read all that. And so you can see that verse there. We've only got like a minute to go, so I apologize if I get cut off ahead of time. I rejoice in your goodness. I'll say it now. Keep practicing well, okay? Share the Dharma well. Look after yourself. And you can see the similarities between the verse there and my verses in the song. As I mentioned, I've added a few, but added a few lines to it, I should say, but the same spirit. So we'll go over that slightly again. I'll give a little bit of commentary on it, as well as the verses and chorus within the song. And so we'll do that next week, and then the week after, then we move on to something else. Okie dokie.